council meeting in order, March 17th, 2020. Would you please join me in a pledge of allegiance to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, Dave.
Nelson?
Yes.
Knapp?
Yep.
Donlin?
Yes.
Goodchild?
Yep.
Quick?
Yes.
Motion to approve agenda.
Second, motion made second to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. I'd like to welcome everybody into the chamber today. I realize it's an unfortunate circumstance, but we're doing everything we can to live with what we got. I'm going to, before I go into the regular council meeting, I want to share with you what we did yesterday in regard to the coronavirus program. As you all know, we've got a disaster plan, and we've had one for a good many years. Case in point was tornadoes and floods and things like that. And so at 10 o'clock yesterday morning, I opened up the disaster plan. And what we did is we just took parts of it at this stage of the game. The reason we did that is because things are changing so fast that it's all virtually impossible to keep up with it. But we spent about an hour and a half or 2 hours yesterday with our administration people, our public safety people, and our supervisors of all the departments regarding as to how we're going to address this. And to show you how fast it was going, we had everything set on at that time, 10 o'clock, anybody that gathered 50 people or under was okay. At 6 o'clock last night, the president came out, and that number has now dropped to 10. What we've come up with, just a couple of things I'll share with you in the meeting yesterday as to how we address these situations in every case that we can. And I want to just share with you, I think you council members got this letter yesterday, I hope you did, from Jason, in taking into account recommendations by the CDC and the Iowa Department of Public Health, and that's the two areas that we've certainly been following verbatim on the decisions that we're making. The city of Lamar's will be taking immediately action to address the C-19 safety guidelines. In an effort to limit public gatherings at the city facilities, the following will be implemented immediately. Our Lamar's Public Library will be closed to the public for 2 weeks, beginning at 5 p.m. yesterday, that was last night, on Monday, March 16th, 2020, with plans to reopen on March 31st, and I'm going to put pending on what happens in the future behind that. The library will remain staffed thoroughly to clean the facilities as well as assist and answer any inquiries by telephone. Online services is still available. All events at the city's rental facilities will be limited to, it said 50 attendees yesterday, and that's gone down to 10 as of right now. Scheduled events over the next 2 weeks exceeding this limit are being notified to reschedule or cancel. The Community Wellness Center, the YMCA, will be closed to the public for 2 weeks, beginning at 4 p.m. on Monday, March 16th, which was yesterday afternoon at 4 o'clock. With plans to reopen again on March 31st again, based on what the future holds down the road. This is an ever-changing situation, and the city of Lamar's will continuously monitor the situation and make adjustments as needed. The public will be notified of changes to day-to-day operations as they arise. As of 11 o'clock this morning, we've been asked to close, I believe it's, correct me if I'm wrong here, Dave or Jason, all the restaurants and the bars, am I right, are to be closed. And The restaurants will be open by drive-throughs and things like this. So there are a lot of things and a lot of changes up in the air. At 2 o'clock this afternoon, the governor of the state of Iowa is going to be visiting with all the mayors throughout the state of Iowa at 2 o'clock this afternoon on a conference call. The time is set up at between 2 and 3 o'clock, so we'll have to move on this. One of the things that utmost that we're going to try to do our best on and work with this situation is the word communication. We're going to do everything we can to try to keep our residents communicated as what's going on and when, due to the changes that are going. But communication is going to be a very important factor. We're going to do everything we can to keep you people informed as to what the city is doing and where we're at. I'd open it for any questions if anybody has for me or Jason or Dave that you might have.
Yeah, I'll probably send something out, just like I did yesterday, to probably Clem and the Sentinel. So we'll have to make, with this coming out, I'm gonna listen in on that conference call also, but I know we've already talked about a question or two, so we may find out more in that conference call. And then we may have to re-look at, I know we had the discussion yesterday, what do we do with City Hall? So I think that decision is probably gonna have to be made yet today on what happens tomorrow. Because there's currently, there's 9 staff in this building already. So just 2 customers come in, we're already over the limit, so.
And there's ways we can work through it.
Yeah, so so that may affect tomorrow's operations here at least. But we'll sit through that call and find
Yeah.
out any of their suggestions.
Any other questions from anybody? Hearing none, let's go on with the council meeting. Okay, we've got 2 hearings today. And the first one is on the police station Berm project. At its March 3rd, 2020 meeting, the council set this as a date and time to hear public comments on the plans, specifications, form or contract of estimates of cost for the police station Berm project. The project involves the installation of a storm sewer and a berm along the west property line. At this time, I'm going to open up the hearing and ask for any written or oral objections or questions or comments to the project or to adopting plans, specifications, form, contract, and estimates of cost. After hearing all the comments, I'll close the meeting. But at this time, is there any comments or concerns about this hearing? Hearing or seeing none, I'm going to ask it one more time. Is there any comments or concerns on this hearing as far as adopting this project? Seeing or hearing none, I'm going to close the contract. The administration recommends approval by the council for the following schedule. And that is, number 1, the bid letting is on April 10th, scheduled for April 10th, 2020 at 10 a.m. Award the contract on April 21st, 2020, and start construction on June of 2020. The financial impact, the preliminary construction cost estimate is $197,838. Any questions from anybody? Comments, Jason?
I have none, unless you guys have questions.
Motion to adopt resolution number 20-5, plan specification forms, contracts, and estimated costs for the police station Berm project.
I'll second that.
Motion made and second to adopt the resolution 20-5 on plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimate of cost for the police station Berm project. We have roll call on that, Bev.
Knapp,
Yep.
Goodchild.
Yes.
Wick.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Tomlin.
Yes. Motion carried. The next hearing is on the 2020 budget and 21st budget. At its March 3rd, 2020 meeting, the council accepted the proposed fiscal year 2020 and 2021 budget with a mill levy of $11.90 and established this date and time to hear public comments regarding said budget. The required notice has been published. The Mayor, at this time, I'm going to open up and ask if there's any written or oral objections or comments on the budget itself. I will ask once again if there's any written or oral objections or comments or concerns on the budget itself. Hearing or seeing none, I'm going to close the session at this time, the budget. The administration recommends the council approval with or without the amendment, as we are required to submit a approval budget to the state by March 31st, 2020. Does anybody have any questions in regard to the budget? Hearing or seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion adopting resolution 20.6,
Six.
adopting annual budget for the fiscal year end June 30, 2021.
Is there a second?
So moved.
Motion made and second, adopting the resolution 20-6, adopting the annual budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2021. Could we have a roll call on that, Bev?
Tomlin.
Yes.
Goodchild.
Yes.
Wick.
Yes.
Knapp.
Yep.
Nelson.
Yes.
Motion carried. Okay, at this time, we're going into thumbs up award. You have anything, Mike?
No.
Clark?
Nothing from me.
Rex?
That's today.
Ken? And Steve? No. Thank you. Moving on to the consent items. All items listed under consent agenda will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a request is made prior to the time the council votes on the motion. Today, we've got 7 of them. And I must notify the council that number 7, which is the community Easter egg hunt, scratched that one. And the reason it's scratched because it's been canceled. The first one is the approval of March 3rd, 2020 regular meeting minutes. Number 2 is a list of the bills for period ending 3/13/20. Third one is a monthly financial statement for February in 2020. The fourth one is a renewal of a beer permit at Bob's. The fifth one is appointments. And the sixth one is the urban revitalization tax exemption requests. And the eighth one is the Ragby City Parks camping. I want to go back to number 5, and that is the appointments of Roxanne Braun, who will be filling the term once again for the civil engineering program that she has been on for the past many years. Her term is up. I did meet with Roxanne, and she's accepted to be on the committee again. The other one is for Mike Wells Jr. It's going to be taking the place of Barbara Collins, who will be moving, and her term is up June of 2020. But due to her move, Mike Wells Jr. has I met with him, and he's accepted to fill out the term that Barbara's on. Any questions?
Do we want to talk about 8 or not? Any questions on that?
Yeah, 8,
The-
drag by.
The lifting of the curfew?
Camping, on the curfew of the parks.
Well, the only question that I kind of looked when I looked it over is, are we gonna put a new curfew on, or is it just gonna be open-ended?
last time.
Well, the ordinance reads right now, nobody can be in the city parks after 10.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, good enough.
And talking to Julie Hurt, she was gonna be here until this thing happened. I've already spoken to her. She's, I don't know if she's on that rec committee maybe, but she called and requested this. Well, she asked about camping in parks, which then precipitated this ordinance change, but we did it last time, like I stated here, but she, in that committee, will work to put, there's charter groups that go with Reg Rice, so they're big, larger organizations, more organized. She will try to accommodate those groups in the parks, so it's just not a free-for-all for anybody to set up a tent. So there'll be some coordination, I think I say that in there. They'll try to make it less inconvenient for the neighborhood, I guess that way. And we will, I've already talked to her, we would not want vehicles, so RVs and those types of things driving through our parks and camping. It's strictly gonna be tent camping. So we may have to put up signs that say no vehicles.
David, how do you feel about campfires? Are we gonna be able to enforce that?
I think we'll treat it like we do the campgrounds, Ken. That we do allow campfires at the campgrounds, we'll have to allow them in the parks. There'd be no way to really police that thoroughly. And then, you know, clean up when they're done, hopefully, or we'll have to clean it up.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Motion to approve consent items 1 through 6 and 8.
Second. Motion second to approve items 1 through 6 and 8. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next one is in the action item. Number 1 is the Cleveland Park Playground contract. The Cleveland Park Playground was demolished in the fall of 2019 due to its deteriorating condition. The city immediately began the process of replacing the structure. Construction options were explored, and ultimately the contractor of the original structure was contacted, which was, I believe, Jason, 21 years ago. Am I right on that?
Yes.
21 years ago, was contacted. Attached is a proposal from Leathers and Associates Incorporated to design and construct the Cleveland Park Playground. Leathers and Associates Incorporated would begin designing immediately with potential completion by the end of July 2020. A letter of intent has been received from the Lamar's Area Betterment Foundation donating funds for the project attached. The letter of intent specifies the amount and contractor to be used for the construction. The city will receive the funds up front, which allows the city to contract and pay for the contract directly with the contractor. The administration recommends that council approve the contract. Work is underway on the design of the area around the playground. The design could be possibly a parking lot and a restroom building also. I know Jason's put a immense amount of time and work in on this with the help of other people. But we're kind of following, to be honest with you, the format of when we built the skateboard park system. That went together so smooth, and we got people that knew what they were doing in building skateboard parks, and this is kind of along the same way, going back. And we're very fortunate to team up again with the associate programs. So Any questions? We'd be most happy to answer.
Well, yeah, I'll say a few things. I mean, so since, since the day we tore it down, the old one, we got, comments, we've had people here at city council meetings, emails, telephone calls with suggestions. So it really became, a priority, I guess, so it kind of got moved to the top of the things to do. So I've been researching, meeting, talking on the phone for quite some time. There's different avenues which we can go. We can do the typical come up with the design and send it out for bids and do it that way. Or is the way I'm suggesting here is go the same route as we did with the skate park. I've already had quite a bit of conversations with Leathers. They're willing. I was actually a little surprised when one of the first conversations I had with them was how soon they could do it. And I mentioned it here, their current timeline puts it at completion by the end of July. And what I handed out to you is by no means the design that would be in Cleveland Park, but and I apologize for being unclear, but my version was clear. Yours aren't, but those are just examples. You can go on their website and see what they've done. But it's very similar to what they built 21 years ago. It's just now they use different material. It's recycled. It's recycled material that has the wood look and appearance. So that would be my suggestion, is to go with them. Also in this packet and mentioned in what Dick read was at the last Betterment Foundation meeting, this whole concept and plan was presented to them, and they graciously